My golden child brother got everything. Ivy League tuition, a BMW at 17, and a standing ovation for breathing. I got a handshake at graduation, and so what now? From my dad. That sentence has lived in my chest for years like something unfinished, like a bill that never gets paid. Growing up, our house ran on applause, but it was always directed at him. My brother would bring home A+, and my parents would frame it like he'd cured something terminal. I brought home straight A's and was asked why I wasn't taking more advanced classes. When he got into an Ivy League school, they threw a party with catered food and rented tents. When I graduated debt-free from a state university after working 2 jobs, my dad shook my hand in the driveway like I'd just completed a routine errand and said, "So what now?" I remember the weight of that handshake more than any hug I've ever received. It felt like being dismissed from a meeting I didn't know I was losing. Every year, my parents host this massive summer barbecue, the kind with folding tables, cheap beer in tubs of ice, and my dad hovering near the grill like a king guarding his throne. That afternoon, the air was thick with smoke from grilled ribs and the faint sting of gasoline from the lawnmower he'd just refueled. And my brother arrived late in his polished BMW. Stepping out like applause should follow him automatically. People circled him. They always did. I was already there, setting up chairs, hauling coolers, wiping down sticky tables because that's the role I somehow inherited supporting cast in someone else's highlight reel. At some point, someone asked what I was doing now. And before I could answer, my brother laughed and said, "He's still figuring it out." The crowd chuckled. Polite and easy, and I felt that familiar heat creep up my neck. "He's our long-term project," my brother added, raising his beer like I was the joke that kept on giving. My dad didn't correct him. He didn't even look uncomfortable. He just flipped the ribs and said, "Some people peak early. Some don't peak." I don't remember deciding to stay quiet, but I did. I swallowed it the way I always had. That night, lying in my old bedroom with glow-in-the-dark stars still stuck to the ceiling from childhood, I realized something ugly and freeing at the same time, no matter what I achieved. It would never be enough to compete with the version of my brother they'd already decided was superior. So I stopped competing. I moved out of state. I stopped updating them about job interviews and promotions. I built something quietly, long hours, no applause, no barbecue speeches. I learned the difference between validation and value. Months later, my brother called me for the first time in years, his voice thinner than I remembered. His startup, funded largely by my parents' second mortgage, had imploded. Investors pulled out. The car was leased, not owned. The tuition had been an investment with expectations attached, and he hadn't delivered the return. Suddenly, he wasn't the golden child. He was a liability. I didn't laugh. I didn't say "I told you so." I just listened. A few weeks after that, my parents' barbecue was smaller. No rented tents. No bragging speeches. My brother stood by the grill this time, quieter, eyes avoiding the crowd. When someone asked what he was doing now, he hesitated, and for a split second I saw the panic of someone realizing applause isn't permanent. My dad didn't make a joke. He just stared at the fire like it had betrayed him. Later that evening, my brother tried to corner me near the driveway, half smiling like old habits die hard. "Guess you're not the punchline anymore," he muttered. I looked at him, really looked at him, and understood something that took me years to grasp. Being the golden child is just another kind of trap. The applause is rented. The expectations are brutal. And when you fall, it's loud. I didn't need to humiliate him. Life had already sent the invoice. A few months earlier, he made me the joke at a barbecue that smelled like smoke and gasoline. A few months later, he learned what a punchline costs, and me. I stopped waiting for standing ovations and started building a life that doesn't need one.